At the beginning of the film, we see a cameraman making pictures of two models in the studio. When the girl's work is done, one of the models goes to her house, and when the other girl leaves, the cameraman kidnaps her. He also makes the girl unconscious, and when she regains consciousness, she finds herself tied up. The girl was scared and was repeatedly telling the cameraman, "Please leave me," but he doesn't listen to her. Then he takes out a box that had someone's ashes and he puts it next to the girl and cuts her throat. And when he was doing it, his blood drips into the ashes. In the morning, when the cameraman's secretary comes, she sees the girl's corpse whom the cameraman had killed, but as she turns around, she sees her boss's corpse and calls the police. After investigating, it is found that the cameraman has killed the girl. But this was just a secret who killed the cameraman. When they look at the cameraman's throat, there were bite marks on it. Looking at his corpse, it seemed as if someone had eaten his flesh. After this, in the story, we see two news reporters girls who were very capable, but no one believed them. When they both go to their office, their boss tells them to find out about this case. How did the cameraman die? Who killed him so mercilessly? Now, they meet a lab girl and feed her at the hotel and ask about this case. The girl tells the reporters that the cameraman killed the girl. We got some candles from his house, and looking at them, it seemed as if there was some ritual or magic there. And there was someone's teeth mark on the cameraman's neck, as if someone had eaten his throat. When they both hear this, they become worried and start thinking, who could be such a cannibal? Who is eating humans in such a scary way? After this, we see a girl named Sandra who was doing yoga and going toward her car. As she starts sitting in her car, some people come and were about to leave while stealing it. But when they were running away after stealing her car, there was someone in Sandra's car who beats them badly and then kill them. Sandra gets scared to see this, and then she sees someone behind her car, but when people gather there, the man who was standing behind her car goes away from there. Sandra was now thinking, who could be such a powerful person, who killed so many people alone? The next morning, the two reporters go to a press conference where they ask the police who is killing them. The police says, "Don't worry, we will find the killer very soon." The reporter asks the officer, "Those murders are committed by the same person?" The officer replies, "The murders that took place near the car were committed by the same person." Why was there such a mark on the cameraman's neck, as if someone had sucked his blood? Hearing this question, everyone is surprised because no one knew about this. Hearing this, the mayor who came there gets angry and says to the reporter girls that you will not come to this conference again. A good reporter will come in your place who will ask us good questions, and she also tells this to her boss, to which their boss scolds them a lot. The boss also did not believe her and asks, who gives them this information? She says, "Our special people who are involved in the police." When both were at home, they think, why don't we post something on our account about all these murders? Who knows, we may find out something. Then she gets a call from a girl working in the lab who tells them the people whom we have tested for DNA. He is the only man who is killing everyone but the model girl who died that was done by the cameraman. Now they both go to the cameraman's office to find out all this where the first murder took place. When they go there, they find a box there. It was the same that we saw in the hands of the cameraman at the beginning of the story, but now there was no ash in that box. After investigating, they also get the magical item. After seeing this, they come to know that someone must have done some magic here. After seeing the things, they think that the cameraman must be a member of a cult or a group. who has done magic here and revived someone, and he is the same person who revived and is killing everyone one by one. Now, when both of them came to know, but they think that without any evidence, no one will believe them. That's why they both decide that they will collect the evidence first. On the other hand, Sandra, who was in the hospital after that incident, and her brother asks the police officer, "Is there any danger here?" The officer says, "Don't worry, your sister is safe here." Then when he meets his sister, Sandra tells him, "That night I saw a man who was very dangerous, and I feel that he will also not leave me and will kill me." Sandra was saying this meanwhile. That man comes there who had come to kill Sandra. Sandra's brother gives her a cross locket. He says, "Where is it? And have faith in God, nothing will happen to you." But he had now come inside and was beating a guard. Seeing this, a police officer fires a bullet at him, and hearing the sound of the bullet, more police officers came there. But that man had killed that officer and started sucking his blood. After that, he goes to Sandra to kill her, but when he sees the cross locket in her neck, he gets scared and starts running. The officer also came there, who saves Sandra and sends her home, and here we come to know that man was not an ordinary man but was a Dracula who only came out at night. And how did he come here? How did he come? We will come to know in the story. After this, we see a girl going home from her work. When she sits in the car, Dracula comes from behind and grabs her neck. He kills her and starts drinking her blood. The next morning, both reporters are called by their boss. "I have started a new show in which people will give us their opinion. Who is the killer?" And they start getting a lot of messages on this case, in which people told them their own thoughts. Why did this happen? And what was the secret behind it? The two reporter girls choose the names of some people and try to talk to them too. On the other hand, Sandra's brother also brought her home. He tells her that there are cameras here and you don't worry, your life will not be in danger. Then Sandra watches the reporter's video in which she was saying that if anyone knows anything about this case, then please tell us. Sandra tells her brother that I also want to talk to them. There, a lady talks to both the reporter girls in the office. She says that I read your news in which you mentioned a cameraman. I spoke to that man a year ago. Because I had written a book on Dracula at that time. In that book, there was a mention of a man who was very dangerous. He wanted to revive him and he wanted my help in all this. But I didn't tell him about this because if I had done this and had helped him, a dangerous Dracula would have come to our world. At that time, another girl is included in their video who says, "Yes, I also know about that man who becomes Dracula and kills people. A few years ago, I also faced it. He killed my friend in front of my eyes, but I killed him and brought his dead body to the sun. Due to this, he turned into ashes and I closed his ashes in a box, but a few days later, that box was stolen." After hearing this story, both understood that this was Dracula who is now killing people again and has come back. When both of them were going home, then they get a call from Sandra who tells them everything, what she had seen with her own eyes. After listening to Sandra, both were convinced that this is Dracula where Sandra stayed. Dracula had come there. He comes there and kills Sandra's friends. Through video call, Sandra has shown both the reporter girls that what was happening there. When both of them see that Dracula is killing some people, they get scared. Then Sandra's brother comes, who had come to take her from there. But Dracula also comes there and kills Sandra's brother, and then Sandra, he also saw them on the video call. When they see his face, both of them get scared and they tell everything to the police officer, but he says, "What have you made this story to be famous? If this is the case, then please don't do this. Your story is very useless." She had known that without proof, no one will believe them. She thinks that at the time of the day, Where would that Dracula be? They also make weapons for him so that they can face him. One day, they get a call from a man who wanted to help them. He now calls both of them to his office. She asks, why did he call them here? That man says that we have a dealer company, we make and sell houses. He says that one day a man came to me who told me that I want a house that is completely deserted. And in a very deserted place, no one should visit that place. I had given him that house. Hearing this, she says, why are you telling us all this? That man says, maybe the Dracula you are looking for is there, and he also gives the keys to both of them. Both of them now decide to go there. When they go there, that building was really deserted. They start collecting evidence there, but they didn't find any evidence there. That's why they were going back, but then they see a newspaper. It was from 2 weeks ago. Seeing it, they think that if no one lives here, then how did this newspaper come here? Then they see a boy's dead body. There was that Dracula too, who grabs his leg and attacks them. When they try to run away from here, Dracula captures them and beats them a lot. He also tries to suck their blood, but they don't give up. They attack him. Dracula beats a reporter a lot. Even makes her unconscious, and the other reporter was running toward her to suck her blood. But she ran and came in the sunlight. After that, Dracula goes back to her, who was unconscious, but now that girl was also conscious. And she picks up a stick and beats Dracula, which made him unconscious. They pulled and brought him in the sunlight, which made him turn into ash again. After that, we see the story a few days later. Both the reporters were injured and no one believed them. That they killed Dracula, that's why they both decide now they will leave the press. And they get married and start living far away. At the end of the story, we see a little girl who was giving Dracula's ashes to a woman. We see that her nails were big, as if she is also Dracula, as if the cameraman had put the girl's blood in the ashes and revived her, but Dracula ended him as he came out. Then both the reporters killed Dracula with their bravery, but as long as Dracula's ashes will be in this world, then someone will put the girl's blood in it and revive him for his own benefit, and Dracula will return to destroy the world once more.